Welcome to the instructions video for your budget template. Once you open the PDF file, you can access the budget template and the instructions video by clicking on the corresponding button. Before clicking on the budget template button, make sure you are logged in your Google account and that you have space on your Google Drive. Otherwise, you will get errors if you try saving the file before doing this. When the file opens, in the upper right corner, you have to click on the button, Use Template. This should open an editable file. In case you are still in the read-only version, meaning you can't make any edits to the file, make a copy of the file. To do this, click on File, make a copy, and rename the file however you'd like. Finally, click Make a Copy. In this first sheet, you will be able to access the instructions video you are watching now. This is also the place to choose the currency for the entire template by clicking on the little arrow. In case you do not see your currency in the list, click on the small pencil at the bottom, and on the right-hand side, scroll down and click Add another item. Add the symbol for your currency and click Done. Afterwards, you will be able to find your currency at the bottom of the drop-down list. You also have the option to highlight the cells where you can enter data. This is helpful if you have just started using the template to avoid deleting any important formulas embedded in the spreadsheet. If you choose this option, all of the editable cells will be highlighted in a light purple color. Now it's time to add all of the categories you'd like to budget for. These categories will automatically appear in the budget template. If at some point you need to add additional categories, refer back to this sheet to do so. For income, you can add 12 categories, for bills and expenses 30 categories, for savings and debt 20 categories, and for investments 8 categories. Now let's head to the calendar tab. In the overview table, you have to choose the year, the month, on which day the month begins, and on which day the week begins, so the calendar can update automatically. Choosing the day of the beginning of the month is especially beneficial for those receiving their paycheck before or after the first day of the month. For each category, just write down the day on which you receive your income or have a due date for a payment. If you make multiple payments per month for a specific category, you can pick that category from the drop-down list and add the additional due date. Keep in mind that in the monthly tab for the mini calendar, which we will get to very soon, only the earliest due date can be seen. In the other table, you can write down all of the categories that do not fit under any of the previous tables. Also, if you have any bills you pay less often, for example, every other month, quarterly, semi-annually, or annually, you can add them here. Choose the date by either double-clicking on the date cell or write it manually if you are using the template on your phone or tablet. In the summary table, all of the categories and their due dates can be seen. For each date, the calendar can show a total of 5 categories. Now let's head to the budget template sheet. In the overview table, write down the year, choose on which day the month begins and on which day the week starts. In the mini calendar, you can see that all of the due dates have been automatically sourced from the calendar tab. The income dates are gray and payment due dates are pastel orange. In the accounts table, write down all of the accounts you use on a daily basis for your transactions. Keep in mind that when writing the starting balance for a credit card, write it with a minus sign. If you'd like your existing balance to roll over for a particular account, tick the box. Rollover means that your starting balance for the account will be added to your total budget. If you choose not to roll over any of the accounts, your budget will 100% depend on your expected income. Now go through the bills, expenses, investments, debt, and savings tables and set your budget. Remember to also pick which account you will use for the particular payment and on which account you will receive the particular income. This is very important. Write all of the amounts in the spreadsheet with a period separator. If you try to write a number with a comma separator, Google Sheets will understand it as text, which will cause errors. So if you budget $200.20 for groceries, write it as 200.20 instead of 200.20. As we are now done with the budgeting part, let's make a copy of the budget sheet and rename it to the month we are in. Also, switch the chart views from budget to actual. Just to clarify, your total spending allowance, aka left to spend, depends on your actual income or on the end balance of the accounts you have chosen to roll over. Just to show you how it works, if I only roll over my checking account, I will have a spending allowance in the amount of the end balance of my checking account. If I also roll over my credit card balance, my spending allowance will decrease due to outstanding balance I have to pay off on my credit card. If you don't roll over any of your accounts, your left to spend will 100% depend on your actual income for the month. For income, bills, investments, debt, and savings, all of your actual transactions have to be added directly in the actual column. For bills and debt, you can tick the boxes when they are paid. As for our variable expenses, they have to be added in the expense tracker. As you can see, the actual column is white for expenses, which means there are formulas that shouldn't be deleted. The reason for this is that usually for variable expenses, we make multiple transactions per month for the same category. So to make tracking easier, use the expense tracker and everything will be summed up per category automatically. If you want to make any transfers between your personal accounts, use the transfers table. In my fictional case, we used credit cards and I'd like to pay them off in full. First, I check their outstanding balance in the accounts table. Afterwards, I head to the transfers table where I choose which account I will use to pay them off, write down the amount, and select which credit card is going to receive it. That's it. In the accounts table, we can now see that the balance for the checking account has decreased whilst our credit cards are paid off in full. When starting a new budget, just copy the budget sheet again, rename it to the month you are in, and make all the changes needed for the new budget period. Also, remember to switch the month in the Calendar tab. You will now be able to see all of the payments you have to make for the new budgeting period. I hope you enjoy budgeting with my favorite budget template.